Joining me now is our friend, Democratic Congressman from California, Robert Garcia. He is a member of the House Oversight and Homeland Security Committees. Good to see you. Let's get into this with the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security. They say they have no evidence that these reported drone sightings pose any kind of national security or public safety threat, or that they have a foreign nexus. But as you heard, many of your colleagues on Capitol Hill, they're not satisfied with the official response there, nor are many members of the public, I might add. You're on Homeland Security. Have you been briefed on these sightings? Are you satisfied with the information that's been made public?
First, I'm not satisfied. I think for a couple of things are true that we know. And I think one is obviously we know that they're drones. We do know they're not a national security threat. We know there's not an imminent threat. What we don't know is exactly where they are or where they came from. And I think those are really important questions that Homeland Security, the FBI, and others need to be able to answer. I mean, you have these drones, many of them reported to be quite large, actually, flying overhead. And if you're in your neighborhood and you're seeing these drones, you have a right to know what these drones are, not just that they don't pose any immediate threat. And so I think what you're hearing from members of Congress, or what you're hearing from the governor of New Jersey, what you're hearing from a lot of local mayors and elected officials is we need more information. So I actually expect that hopefully this upcoming week we are going to get more information. There'll be more briefings. It does appear that Homeland Security and the FBI and others are trying to gather more information right now. But as far as what they know as of this date, it's no more than what you've reported. We just don't have enough information, except the fact that they don't pose a security threat. Now, the question that I ask is, if we know they don't pose a national security threat, then we've got to know something about that. And so I hope that we learn that information this upcoming week.
DHS Secretary Mayorkas suggested that these were actually legitimate aircraft, that they weren't drones. And I'm like, dude, there's like 90 people for 90 sightings. They can't all be wrong saying that they're not drones.
Yeah, I mean, I think some clearly could have been aircraft. Oftentimes aircraft and drones are mistaken for one another. But it's pretty clear to me that obviously we have drones in the sky. As far as why they were so large, why there were so many, and why they were so intrusive, I think is a problem. And I think we have to be very honest and push back also that could these have been a government program? Sure. Did the public have a right to know? Absolutely. And we're in an era right now where there's a lot of mistrust in government, mistrust in the media. And I think the public has a right to know. You know, we have had numerous hearings, for example, as you know, Alex, on UAPs. And the question that continues to come up is transparency. And I think that there are some in government that want to hold information back from the public, and that is not the right approach at this moment. Transparency and honesty is the best approach, and you can bet we're going to push, and I've already been pushing on that through Homeland Security and Oversight on this and other issues. So hopefully to hear more soon.
Well, when you find out, let us know. But I have to say, it's been interesting. Only nighttime sightings every day since mid-November, with the exception of Thanksgiving. I mean, it could be amateurs just out there, you know. Who knows? We'll see. You find out. Let us know. Let's move on to Donald Trump. And, you know, he has tapped the person to be the White House border czar, Tom Homan. They are elaborating on their mass deportation plans. And Trump told Time magazine that he's going to use the military up to the maximum level of what the law allows to round up and deport migrants. And he plans to ask Congress to cover the estimated $300 billion bill to do it. Is Congress going to find the money and the support for these mass deportation efforts?
Not if we have anything to do with it. I mean, it's pretty clear that that Donald Trump is going to make his mass deportation, family separation plan the very first thing he comes out without the gate, which is really shameful and un-American. We know that folks that are immigrants and that are migrants have contributed greatly to this community. And I think the question that Donald Trump and Holman and others need to ask themselves is, are they willing to turn our police departments across the country into military forces? Police departments are already stretched thin so that you can respond to 911 calls, so they can respond to traffic incidents. And yet we want to use them now to go round up our neighbors, round up the people that are cooking and making our food at our favorite restaurant, round up people that are gardening, that are working in our homes, that are family members, that are at our schools. That is just unconscionable. And I don't believe the American public is going to actually stand for that. And so we're going to have to fight and push back really hard and absolutely not provide money for these deportation plans and these building of these private prison and detention centers that Donald Trump envisions. Look, if the administration wants to talk about border security, about immigration, about strengthening the border, which Democrats have talked about, that's a debate that we can have. But we're not going to support this mass deportation, cruel plan that Donald Trump wants to implement.
Well, this could get pretty granular because Homan was asked about prior comments suggesting that he would prosecute the mayor of Chicago if he gets in the way of the administration's deportation plans or, quote, knowingly harbors or conceals an illegal alien. Here's part of what that went down as. Here it is.
So you will not only go after the illegal migrants, you may go after some mayors who aren't helping?
If they step over that line, they can sit back and watch us, which, I find incredible. You don't want to take public safety threats out of your community and help us. But there are laws on the books that we will prosecute.
You're the former mayor of Long Beach, California. Should local officials comply with the administration's orders?
Well, of course not, because it's unconstitutional. I mean, first, I have a little experience on this. I was mayor during Donald Trump's first term, and he and his team said many of the same things they're saying now. At the end of the day, police departments are local. You have a right to ensure that they are focused on local issues, and police departments cannot be turned into federal police departments. It's unconstitutional. Now, can police departments help, obviously, in investigations? Yes, but there's a huge need already on the ground. And so all of this bluster is not possible. It's not going to happen. And you're hearing from police chiefs all across the country that they have no intention in turning their police departments into these kind of federal forces. And so I don't think he's going to have any or little success on that issue. I think the bigger issue for us in Congress is making sure that we're being very loud, vocal, that we have some fight in us, and that we're pushing back on all of these plans. And we cannot allow him to separate families, separate kids, trample on citizenship, and take us backwards when it comes to the kind of country that we are.
Well, as you said, unconstitutional right off the bat. Okay, thank you so much. It's good to see you, Congressman Robert Garcia. Have a great holiday if I don't speak to you again. Thank you.